welcome back to GolfChallengeTV.com. I'm Luis Mendoza. This is actually part 2 to the hydrostatic body fat test that I did with Linda Finley. After the test, I sat down with Linda and we went through the report in more detail so she could explain to us all the measurements and exactly what they mean and how they can help us understand our body a little bit better. So if you have any questions, shoot them to me here in this blog, leave me some comments. You can also call Linda at the information below, and I will also be posting some of these charts on this report so you have a good reference of what these numbers mean. Okay? So until next time, I'm Luis Mendoza, GolfChallengeTV.com. See you soon. Okay, we're here with Linda again, and we just finished doing the testing. And I just kind of want to go over through the report, and
Right.
you can explain to me a little bit of what this is. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so each person gets a 4-page analysis report, and basically it's on personal information, but in particular we keep a history, so every time somebody does a test, you'll see all your past results.
Right.
So the date, your total weight, your lean mass, fat mass, and body fat percentage, okay?
Gotcha.
Lean mass is basically all your metabolic tissue. So it includes not only your muscle, but your bones and organs,
Right.
okay?
And that's why we have to let all the air out.
That's right.
So we can.
That's
get
right.
that
Well,
reading.
air equals fat, okay? So the more air you get out, the better. And it's my job as a technician to get you to go to the end of your breath, okay?
Gotcha.
Now, the second page is a chart. The women have a separate chart. The men have their own chart.
Okay.
And along the top, you'll see age groups. And essentially on the columns, you'll see not very good to essential, which essential means you need that amount of fat, okay?
Just to be alive.
And that's right.
To function properly.
That's right. That's right. Now, you happen to fall in a very healthy range. You're at, what are you, 10.6%, which is in top shape for a man who's between 30 and 39.
Excellent.
Now, page 3 is essentially another little chart where we did the math for you in
Okay.
case you wanted to fine-tune and drop a little bit of fat. Most of America needs to lose fat, but not really their muscle. Okay?
Right. So you can literally lose fat, but not lose so much weight.
That's right. The idea is that we don't lose just technical weight. We lose like weight specific, which would be
Sure.
fat.
Got
Okay?
it.
We need all of our muscle. We need our muscle to not only function, but
Sure.
we need to feed ourselves enough food to fuel that muscle function.
Got it.
Okay? So, but if you wanted to say drop into the single digits, like
Yes.
7 or 8%, doing the math here, you'd have to drop between 4.5% and 6%, or 6 pounds. Sorry,
6 pounds, right.
4 to 6 pounds of fat to drop down to 7 or 8%.
Now, let me ask you a question directly to this. My goal really is I haven't weighed 156 pounds since my high school days, and the highest I've ever weighed was 175.
Okay.
But I was weightlifting excessively, and I was every day in the gym.
Right.
So it was a lot of muscle that was
Right.
there. But I would like to get up to, gain another maybe 10 pounds, where I feel just healthier.
Yeah.
Right now I'm very, very thin. I'm very skinny for me.
Yeah.
That I feel. So I can still gain those 10 pounds, getting back in the gym, and maintain that 10%
You
body
can.
fat.
So you're
correct?
going to gain muscle and fat.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If you gained only muscle, which is hard to do in a good way.
Okay.
If you gain only muscle, it's tough to gain 10 pounds of straight muscle.
Straight muscle, right.
You're gonna gain some fat with that because you have to eat more calories, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so it's calories in, calories out, but to gain muscle, you have to eat more.
So I expect in the retest, once I accomplish this, my body percent fat would go up.
Well, it could stay the same, but you would gain, respectively, a certain amount of muscle, a certain amount of fat to stay at that your percentage. Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
Got it.
So if you gain a little bit of fat with that and gain like 8 pounds, like say you over time you gain 10 total pounds, but 8 of it is muscle and 2 pounds is fat. So
Got
the percentage is a bigger ratio, so
Yeah,
your percentage is going to be less, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, over time, you jump back in 3 or 4 months, make sure you're on the right track. If you're gaining weight, you want to make sure you're gaining the right weight. For most of America, we need to lose weight.
This is
Right?
the wrong weight that we have.
That's right, but we want to jump in to see that we're losing the right weight, which is fat weight, right?
Good.
And gaining muscle. Women are typically under muscled. Men usually have great muscle mass because they eat high fat proteins. Women, and this is just trends.
Burgers.
That's right. That's the red meat stuff.
That's the
right?
red meat, right, right.
That's right. So, and I see these trends with everybody who comes in. I can figure out their habits and.
Right, so there's really no hiding behind these tests. You
No,
pretty
no.
much know what their living habits are, and
Here's what's interesting. Just over the hundreds and hundreds of tests that I've done, and I can tell who skips meals.
really.
Like they eat once or twice a day, or just 3 times a day, like the 3 staples.
Yes.
But it's too far between meals, so their metabolism is slow. They're typically higher body fat percentage than you'd think. They might fall into that category of the skinny fat people.
And I imagine that's more of a women habit.
It
That
is,
way
but
only
I
once,
have men
twice a
who
day.
do it too. You know, they eat 2 giant meals. You know,
I've
because they
been
go
doing that
so
lately, yes.
right.
I've been doing
Well,
that.
and who wouldn't? If you starve yourself all day, you're starving.
Then
I
you just
do.
want to fill in with carbs.
That's
right? You just
right.
want to eat.
Well, it happens to be the first thing that enters, right? It's like, ooh, there's the bread, or ooh, there's the chips, right? So, you know, if you can get my leanest people eat 6 and 7 times a day, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's right.
No,
And
absolutely.
the
That's
first
a great
thing that
habit.
enters is usually protein. On my leanest people, they're always thinking, which protein am I going to go for?
Yeah.
Chicken, fish, tuna,
Tuna,
whey,
right.
egg whites. What is it going to be? But they're always surrounded with it. They don't go anywhere without it.
So they never starve the body, and the metabolism is always working.
That's
because
right.
they're eating 6, 7 times a day.
That's right. Well, and you couldn't pay them to skip a meal.
Right.
You know, and our society, we're always thinking, I need to drop some weight. And I think I'll just skip this meal for now. And what you're actually doing is feeding the fat. You can borrow that phrase.
I'll have to. We're feeding the fat people.
So when you skip meals, you feed your fat.
Yeah.
That's really what happens. You know, your body's saying, well, he's not going to feed me. I guess I better just reserve and hang on to all my fat because it may have
Just
to
in
keep me
case.
alive. And that's just over conditioning, even though we don't live in a society like starvation.
Sure.
So we don't need to do that. So always think, I need to feed my muscle for function
Mm-hmm.
and to maintain my good body composition.
And we're actually going to do a different session where we actually talk about that, how it affects your golf game. And being on the course for 4 hours, maybe even 5, 6 hours a day, depending on how packed the course is, you really need to feed that body to be able to sustain you throughout those 4 or 5 hours. We'll definitely, I'd love to talk to Linda about that a little more later and discuss, maybe how we can feed our bodies throughout those 5 hours.
Performance nutrition.
Performance, yeah.
That's right.
And even sometimes we're at the golf range before, an hour or 2 before the game, before we tee off. So it's an entire day we have to spend on the golf course. And that day you're going to spend energy, very different calorie intake that you'll use another day when you're just at the office. So we'll definitely talk about that as well. I'm going to put up these charts and these paperworks on the website so we can take a look. And did we finish going through this,
No.
Linda?
No.
We
We're
got
still
one
on
target.
page 3. So, okay, hang on. So, now, if we know how much muscle you
Yeah.
have, your muscle needs a certain amount of calories to do nothing. That's your resting metabolic rate number.
Okay. So if I do nothing, if I'm watching TV,
Actually, it's even more
Even
nothing
more
than
than
that.
Laying in bed?
It's laying flat on your back, not moving, not eating or sleeping. So
Okay.
to do nothing, you need 1,800, 7,100, or 71 calories
that's me,
per day
based on what
to
we
do
did.
nothing.
Got it.
That's right. So,
Okay. Wow.
but you're very active, so you need more calories or additional calories to do something. So whatever that something is, if it's a workout or going to go shopping or go to work or
But so we're talking easily from 1,800 calories, doing nothing, laying down, sleeping.
that's right.
I can easily jump over 3,000 just doing any activity.
Well, it depends on the intensity. Everything has its own value, right? If
Right.
you're cycling leisurely along the beach, that may only do 150 calories.
Okay.
But if you crank up a 12% hill, that may do a 1,200 calories.
Yeah.
Right? For 30 minutes, right? But which is the fourth page, which is an expenditure chart,
Okay.
which is customized on your lean mass.
Based on what I do.
That's right. So if you gain muscle, these numbers will go up. If you lose muscle, your numbers will go down.
Okay. Because muscles burn more calories.
It's the only thing that burns calorie. I mean, fat burns an insignificant amount that we don't really talk about. You know, it's there to protect you. You need fat. It's got metabolic reasons, but the whole focus is to feed your muscle. And if it's for sports performance, then you've got to think, okay, this is all a plan. I need to feed my effort. Right? I'm a swimmer. You're a golfer. I've got marathon people. I've got bodybuilders. The bodybuilder just left. Everybody's got their own requirements.
And it's totally different for each sport.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But it's all a plan. You know, so if you got competition at 8 o'clock, then you better be done eating at 6. Because you need to digest, you need to spread the food out and make sure it's all broken down, right?
So the typical golfer, after the 9 holes, you know, they take 15 minutes and we go get a burger, we go get a fries, hot dogs. So that's definitely a no-no.
Super high fat,
Yeah.
super high. Well,
Because we still have another 9 holes.
You could utilize that if you have time to digest it. And now fat and protein take time to digest, right? Like 2 hours. You need 2 hours, which is why carbs are a great, quick energy source. Fat is an amazing source of energy if you give yourself time to digest it. If you go in there with a big burger in your stomach and try and perform, it's like good luck. All your blood is trying to break that down. And
In other words, we're doing it absolutely the wrong way. The majority of golfers out there, in between
I mean, who
the 9
hasn't
holes,
had indigestion when you're playing? Because you know you got back into it before you were done digesting.
That's right.
You feel it, you taste it. It's
And,
awful.
you know, and I think the misconception of the general population out there that plays golf is that it's not a high activity impact sport. You know, so the rules don't apply. And that's what I feel. You know, it's not. You're not a football player. You're not. You know, baseball player, sprinter, et cetera, et cetera. So, but that's a misconception, I believe, and that's kind of what I want to
It is
start
totally.
studying.
Well, think about golf. I mean, what is it? It's like this, it's that starting strength that you have to have. It's the first part of your the Krebs cycle.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the starting strength. It's about 30 seconds worth of effort. So
Right,
you've got
right.
that
Golf swing.
that power punch hit, just like a hammer thrower in track and field.
That's right.
And you've got accuracy and concentration requirements that tap into balance, coordination. You've got that whole.
And all that matters in our food intake.
That's right. And well, it could, for
could,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, we've seen people eat total junk and still are amazing athletes just by nature.
So definitely no drinking on the golf course.
No,
We see that a lot as well. But no, to Linda's point, when you look at any professional tournament on TV, you never see them in between the 9 holes eat, you know, a huge meal. They go from the 9th hole to the 10th hole, and in between the 18 holes, they're eating snacks. You know, they're doing their Gatorade or any power drink, but they're also eating a granola bar. They're eating some nuts, some natural fruits. So to Linda's point, absolutely right. We have to change our habits if you want your game to improve. So okay, Linda, I think we're good. I understood, you know, what the charts are about, and again, I'm gonna post them on the website. And what do you think would be a good time for me to come back and do the retesting?
well, if you want to check that you're headed in the right direction, either gaining or losing muscle, gaining or losing fat, then you want to jump in maybe 3 or 4 months from now and just make sure you're headed in the right direction.
And I think those 3 to 4 months. Let's talk about January, first of the year.
Yeah.
Right. I think it would be enough time for me to at least gain a good 10 pounds of good weight. You know, of at least get back in the gym.
Yeah.
Definitely enough time for me to do that. And all right, well, we'll definitely see you here back then.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
So back in January, we'll be back right in here in this pool and see how we're doing. Linda, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.